Hello, my name is Joshua, and it's my honor to share a word with my family again. And tonight I will be reading in Psalm, starting with chapter 3, verse 1. O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying of me, there is no help for him in God. But thou, O Lord, art a shield about me, my glory and the lifter of my head. I cry aloud to the Lord, and he answers me from his holy hill. I lie down and sleep. I wake again, for the Lord sustains me. I am not afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me round about. Arise, O Lord, deliver me, O my God, for thou dost smite all my enemies on the cheek. Thou dost bring the teeth of the wicked, or break the teeth of the wicked. Deliverance belongs to the Lord. Thy blessing be upon thy people. And next we're going to go to chapter 27.
Let me ask you a question. Is he boldly talking to God in verse 7?
No.
He's got exclamation point, I imagine. He has the exclamation point, so I imagine that's
27.
one with confidence.
Yes,
Hmm?
he is being bold.
27. Chapter 27. Psalm.
We want
Chapter 27. I said that.
He says,
No, I mean, like, where were you first? Where were you
We're in
first?
7?
Oh my gosh.
27.
Where were you first?
Same thing as faith.
Why
Two,
you
three,
here?
or four.
Hey, there's three
Yeah,
there.
trusting in
Okay, I
him.
didn't hear you. I saw
Chapter 27.
Verse
1. Psalm chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I
27,
fear?
12?
One,
He said 1?
yes.
I thought he said 12.
Delete them. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Whom shall I be afraid? When the evildoers assail me, uttering slanders against me, my adversaries and foes, they shall stumble and fall. Thou a host encamp against me. Though a host encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise against me, yet I will be confident. One thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will set me high upon a rock. And now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies round about me. And I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing and make melody to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud, be gracious to me and answer me. Thou hast said, seek ye my face. My heart says to thee, thy face, Lord, do I seek. Hide not thy face from me. Turn not thy servant away in anger. Thou who hast been my help, cast me not off, forsake me not, O God of my salvation. For my father and my mother have forsaken me, but the Lord will take me up. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path because of my enemies. Give me not up to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and they breathe out violence. I believe that I shall see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Yeah, wait for the Lord. And lastly, we're going to go to Psalms chapter 62.
Actually, the title on that was David's Song of Confidence.
Psalm what?
62. 62.
62.
6?
62.
Yes, 6-2.
So Psalm chapter 62, verse 1. For God alone my soul waits in silence. From him comes my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. My fortress, I shall not be greatly moved. How long will you set upon a man to shatter him, all of you like a leaning wall, a tottering fence? They only plan to trust him down from his eminence. They take pleasure in falsehood, they bless with their mouths, but inwardly they curse. For God alone my soul waits in silence, for my hope is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress, I shall not be shaken. In God rests my deliverance and my honor. My mighty rock, my refuge is God. Trust in him at all times, O people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Men of low estate are but a breath. Men of high estate are a delusion. In the balances they go up, they are together lighter than a breath. Put no confidence in extortion, set no vain hopes on robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart on them. Once God has spoken, twice have I heard this. The power belongs to God, and that to thee, O Lord, belongs steadfast love. For thou dost requite a man according to his work. And so the main thing that I believe the Lord was wanting me to speak on tonight is how the Lord is our fortress, our refuge, our salvation, and he is what sustains us. And we should be relying on the Lord above all other things. And so it's important that anytime we're going through, even when we're not going through a time of trouble, we're just living our daily lives, and we're looking to things to sustain us, God should be the first thing we look to. Because obviously God created the world, he created the food that we eat, he created the water we drink, he created the blood that runs through our bodies. Everything that sustains us, our fleshly bodies, was created by God. And so that means everything that would sustain our spiritual body also can only come from God. Because he created everything physically, spiritually, mentally, everything was created by God. So we can't try to look to the world to sustain us, especially in ways of the spirit or of our spiritual or mental selves. Because if God even created the physical things that we use to sustain us, how much more important is it that we go to God for the spiritual things? Because a lot of people turn to people here on earth, whether it's for love, whether it's for comfort, whether it's for just comfort in some area in their life, or even to fill the hole or gap that's in their heart that they feel. But realistically, nothing is going to fill that the way that God can. Just as he has created the things for us to live on and sustain us and give us energy, he is what is supposed to give us comfort and strength and energy even in our spiritual walk. And so when we are out and about and we're trying to minister to people, the best way to do that is to be led and guided by God, not by a human or any preacher or any pastor. Because God is the only one that can truly, any time of the day, give us the word to share to somebody. Just as we're given food to eat and water to drink, God can give us the word that not only helps us and builds us up, but we can share with others to build them up. And if you truly have faith in God, that he will give you the word in his timing, then you don't have to be afraid of being prepared. Because if you are just walking every day in faith, knowing that God is going to provide for you when the timing comes, then you'll have more peace in your heart. You'll have more confidence in him, and you won't be anxious about what the next day brings, but instead you'll have peace in your heart, which will allow you to also hear from the Spirit more smoothly and freely. And there won't be a wall kind of blocking you from hearing the word of God. And that's why it's so important that when we are looking for something spiritually fulfilling, God is obviously the first thing we should be looking for. And there's no man on earth who can fill you up and actually close that hole in your heart permanently. There are things that people go to, like people go to church one day of the week on Sunday to get their weekly fill. But the fact that they even need to get a refill means that there is a problem, because you shouldn't need a refill unless you're getting emptied. But if you're being led by the Spirit and God is in your life and he's in your heart, if he is truly in your heart, then it's not going to empty out. You're going to stay full of the Holy Spirit always. And so if you are emptying out and having to get refilled, that means God truly isn't in your heart. And it's important that you receive God into your heart so that He is with you all the time, not just one day a week. And so it's important to remember that. You don't need to be going to a person to get your refill, but you should have God in your heart who is to keep you filled all the time and constantly giving you words, whether it's words of knowledge, words to share, words of comfort, words to share with someone else. And God, and like I said earlier, God is our sustainer, not man. God is what sustains us, which is why we need to count on God to help us move forward in the whatever path He has for us. So instead of looking to be sustained by people, look to be sustained by God. And also another thing was that there's no difference between, spiritually, there's no difference between a rich and a poor man. So if you have a bunch of riches here on earth, or if you don't have anything but dirt and you are super poor, spiritually, there is no difference between them. God can use one the same way He can use the other, and both of them need God equally. Just because you're rich doesn't mean you need less of God because you have enough here on earth. You need God just as much as the poor man down the street. Spiritually or fleshly things isn't going to fill your spiritual soul. And so it's important to always remember that God is so important for everyone's life. It doesn't matter what situation you're in, God is needed for redemption. God is needed for joy, true joy. And if you do not have God in your life, no matter whether you're rich, no matter whether you're poor, everything you have is useless. Because a poor man who has the love of God is better off than the rich man who has an empty soul. Because in the end, one's going to go to heaven and one's going to go to hell, and everything here on earth is going to be pointless. And so it's important that no matter what situation you're in, God is always put first in your life, and you should focus more on what God has for you instead of what your flesh desires here on earth.